Hey, welcome to the channel. Today we are doing winter prep for spring success on our blueberry bushes. I thought this would be a good opportunity to show you guys some of the stuff that we're doing and what works for us. So first off, I want to talk a little bit about what we're doing. We are putting down a 50-50 compost. It's 50% horse manure, 50% sawdust. I have a guy about an hour from here that has some horse stables and he sells this. I have this truck completely full. I had 2 cubic yards put down and it was $35 a scoop, so $70. I say that because a lot of people think compost is so expensive and you're going to save money with your synthetic fertilizers. You're not. And one of the reasons that I use this is because if you go in and you wait, especially when you blueberries or apple trees, anything in the spring, anything fruit bearing, if you get to it in the spring and the leaves are already sprouting, you're already behind the 8 ball. And so what I try to do in the spring, winter, we're at January 5th right now, is I go ahead and get my compost down. And yes, y'all know I have my own compost bins, but this is a winter compost. I put down all of the compost that I make in the spring when things start to come up. But this is really good for your soil. So here's the difference between it and synthetic that means a lot to me. I'm putting it down on January 5th. It's gonna have all of January, all of February, all of March, and then around mid-March, the apple trees start to sprout up and they start doing well. This is already in the soil. It's already gotten down. The microbial context of it have already gotten down into it, and it's going to allow for things to get started much earlier. If you put down any type of fertilizer, synthetic fertilizer right now, it's not going to do anything because it's going to do harm and it's not going to help your soil. So we're going to put it down. I put this down first, and then I put down a coat of sawdust. And as you can see from right back here, as you can show them, we have a lot of sawdust that we have brought in from a friend of mine, and he brings in the sawdust. This has been sitting here for about a year, all of it. But one of the myths that people talk about with sawdust is that it is a nitrogen robber and that it won't do well. It is a nitrogen robber if you put that and mix it into your soil. If you don't put it in your soil and you just have it right on top, it is no different at all than that. Izzy, walk with me and I'll prove my point. What a lot of people talk about. So in these YouTube videos, come on, in these YouTube videos, you hear people all the time talk about shredded wood, and they have, hey, you can call a company, have them come and drop it. Well, that's what this is. Okay, you can look at this and you can see I had this dumped. It's been here about a year and a half. I haven't done anything to it, but just let it sit here, and I have grabbed it. But when they dumped this, it was green, okay? And I know a lot of you are right now saying, well, that's common sense land. Where are you going with this? Where I'm going with it is this. This right here, green, dumped from a truck in your neighborhood and brought to you that everybody brags about, is no different than this. Okay, this is just ground up more. That is it. So when you hear people talk about sawdust is a nitrogen stealer, yeah, it is, but it's no different than mulch. It's no different. If you have green mulch and people say, well, with sawdust, you don't know what wood you're getting. Do you know what you're getting in this? Can someone tell me what tree that is? I don't know how that comes out. So it just gets me with people and how they are very serious about certain things, and they really haven't gone and looked at the research. Wood chips are nothing more than bigger wood chips than sawdust. You've got a couple different components of wood in here. You've got a couple of components of wood in this. But if this is delivered green, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to let it sit and rot, that's exactly what we're doing here. You can see the difference in the color. This is the oldest, this is the next oldest, and on and on and on down the line. So we are going to be grabbing from these two. I know this is over 3 years old, but I'm going to put the compost down, and then on top of it, I'm going to put the sawdust. Blueberries absolutely love a wet area. We have a drip line that goes through the blueberries, and you put the mulch down, or the compost, excuse me, you put the compost down, and then you put your sawdust down on top, and that just packs in and it makes it marshy. It's gonna save you a lot of time and effort down the road. Your fertilizer's already down on the ground with the compost. Your sawdust goes on top, it locks in and it keeps everything moist. Let's get to work on these, get this done. All right, so here are some of our blueberries. We have over 40. You can see we have a drip line right here, the 1/2-inch rainbird drip line, and I have some emitters at the bottom. One of the things that I like about using this particular compost is it's very non-binding. It's just very porous. I can put this right on top of my emitters and it doesn't make a difference at all. It's not going to slow down the emitters. Again, 2 scoops on here. Spread it out a little bit. Your blueberries are going to come out, and I'm looking on here now. Is come in here and look. We're January 5th. You can see right here the little buds that are already coming out. Now, I don't like that. What's going to end up happening in the state of Alabama, we normally have a hard frost. I don't know, maybe around beginning of February. We'll have frost through March, but every year this happens, and I don't know how to fix that. I really don't. But what we're going to do is we're just going to put some mulch and compost around this. It's going to go ahead and help with the root structure. It's going to also insulate the bottom of the plants and allow for them to be able to have some warmth if we do get a really cold. So you can go in here and put it on this. Again, really not hard at all to do. We're in early January, and we're getting this done. One more scoop on that. Here's our sawdust. You can see I just grabbed the scoop and I'm just going to go right over top, just like this. This is the sawdust that's been there a while. I'm just going to tap it in a little bit. There are some little clumps. I mean, you can see, here's something to really look at with letting it sit. You see the root elements down in here, the microorganisms that are working. That's what you want. That's what you want in this. This is nothing but free sawdust. So you have your compost on top, and then on top of that, you're putting other microbial parts on there to get that going as well that are just going to leach down through the compost and down in there. I'm going to be finishing this up. I've got 48 blueberry bushes to do today and wanted to get this wrapped up, but I thought it would be a good idea to just show you guys some of the ways that you can get ahead in the spring. Farms overnight get going. If anyone knows that, I do. And sometimes you can get behind really quick in the spring. These are little things that you can do in the winter that are going to help you, that are not going to have you scrambling in March and April when you're trying to get your crops out in your garden or your greenhouse going and all of that. This is something that is gonna, you can just rest easy and say, we're done. Check and see, if you're in a rural area, check and see who's got sawdust. If you have someone who has a wood mill, I can assure you they will give you their sawdust. The guy that does it for me, he delivers it here. And we have a great relationship on me needing it and him wanting to give it away. So any questions or comments below, let me know. And again, any feedback or anything you've got on this that you think that I can improve, let me know. I'm always looking to improve. Thanks.